We all think of the bathroom as a safe place, a place to get clean, to relax at the end of the day, but the hard truth is that thousands of our seniors suffer serious, life-changing accidents in that very room every single year. Tomorrow, that could be you. You wash every day, you keep yourself clean. So why are you still at risk? Why does this happen? Hello, everyone. As a family doctor who has cared for patients just like you for over 35 years, I am here to tell you a secret. There is a specific part of the body that 9 out of 10 Americans over 65 simply don't know about. And if you don't wash this one spot correctly, you could be facing a nursing home, perhaps as early as your 70s. I'm not talking about some theory from a textbook. I'm talking about reality. Just recently, the daughter of Mrs. Eleanor Vance, a lovely woman down in Miami, called my office in tears. She said, "Doctor, my mom just keeps falling. I think it's time. I have to put her in a nursing home." Mrs. Eleanor herself was devastated. She told me through her own tears that she never, ever wanted to be a burden on her children, but at that point she couldn't take a single step without her walker. I held her hand tight right there in the exam room and I said, "Eleanor, please don't give up. When you shower, I just want you to wash this one spot just like this for only 5 minutes. Can you do that for me? Just try it for 1 month." Folks, 1 month later, that same woman walked into my clinic all by herself. No walker. So, where is this spot? I can tell you it's not your hands and it's not your feet. If you watch this entire video, you're going to learn the secret to living a healthy, independent life all the way to 100. But before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of you have faced this. If what I just shared feels familiar, if you've ever worried about falling or about becoming a burden on the people you love, please comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and it shows others in our community that they are truly not alone. Okay, let's get started. All right, let's start our countdown. We're going to begin with position number 5. Now, folks, let me ask you, how many times a day do you wash your hands? Before you eat, after you use the restroom, after you come in from gardening, you're washing your hands constantly, aren't you? It's the first rule of good hygiene we ever learn. But here is a fact that's going to shock you. 97 out of every 100 Americans are washing their hands the wrong way. Position number 5 is your very own palm. I know. I can hear you from here. You're thinking, my palms? Doctor, that's absurd. Of course, I wash my palms. I'm not a child. But please hear me out. There is a Grand Canyon of difference between simply sanitizing your palm with soap and truly activating it. I had a patient, a wonderful 72-year-old gentleman from Austin named Robert Bob Miller. Bob came to me because he'd been on medication for chronic indigestion for 10 years, a full decade. He said, "Doctor, it doesn't matter what I eat. I'm always bloated, always heavy. Food just sits in my stomach like a rock." He was miserable. He'd been to 5 different hospitals, seen specialists, and no one could find the root cause. When he sat in my exam room, I did something he didn't expect. I asked to see his hands. I held his palms, and folks, they were cold, and they were hard. I looked him in the eye and said, "Bob, this is the problem. It's not just in your stomach, it's in your hands." I told him, "When you take your shower every morning, I want you to try washing your palms this specific way." He looked at me like I had 3 heads, but he was desperate, so he agreed to try. Just 2 weeks later, my phone rings. It's Bob, and I could hear a smile in his voice. He said, "Doc, I ate a whole bowl of chili last night, and I feel good. I can't remember the last time I felt good after a meal." So, why are the palms this powerful? Listen closely. You have over 7,000 nerve endings, 7,000, concentrated in the palm of each hand. Think about that. That's like having the entire population of a small town living in your hand. And where do those nerves connect? They are direct lines to your stomach, to your liver, to your heart, to your lungs. They are plugged into every single major organ you have. Your palm isn't just skin. It's a control panel. It's a roadmap to your entire body. As we get older, this becomes even more critical. Our circulation naturally starts to slow down. These thousands of nerve endings, they get sleepy. They don't send or receive signals as clearly as they used to. This is why you might feel bloated after a meal you've eaten 100 times, or why you just feel sluggish, like your internal engine isn't running right. This isn't just my opinion. In Japan, researchers studied a group of people who lived to be over 100 years old. The results were astounding. 9 out of 10 of them, 90%, had a daily habit of stimulating their palms. A separate American study found that properly stimulating the palms can increase blood circulation throughout the entire body by as much as 34%. When your blood flows, everything changes. Your mind gets clearer, your digestion works, you sleep more deeply. So how do we do it? It is so very simple. First, when you're in the shower under that nice warm water, I want you to clap your hands together for 30 seconds. I'm serious. Clap them hard enough to make a sound. You should feel your palms start to tingle and get warm. That's the sound of 7,000 nerves waking up. That's the feeling of blood rushing to the surface. Second, after your 30 seconds of clapping, I want you to take the thumb of one hand and find the fleshy, muscular part on your other hand, right between your thumb and your index finger. That's a powerful spot we call the Higu point. I want you to press it. Press it firmly. You'll feel a dull, satisfying ache. That's good. Hold that pressure for just 5 seconds. That's it. 30 seconds of clapping, 5 seconds of pressing, not even 1 minute. And this isn't just about digestion. I had another patient, Mrs. Sharon Davis from Chicago, 67 years old. Her problem was different. She told me, "Doctor, my hands and feet are always numb, always tingling, and I wake up at 3 a.m. every single night and I can't get back to sleep." I gave her the exact same instructions. 3 weeks later, she came back to my office and she was smiling. "Doctor," she said, "I slept through the night for the first time and I don't even know how long, and my hands, they feel warm." We didn't cure some mysterious disease. We just turned the power back on. We woke up the control panel, all by washing our palms the right way. Now, that brings us to position number 4. I want you to do a little test for me right now. Look down at your legs, at your ankles. At the end of the day, when you take off your socks, do you have that deep, angry red line, that ditch carved into your skin? A mark that stays there for 10, 20, maybe even 30 minutes? Or try this. Take your thumb and press it firmly into your shin, right against the bone, for about 5 seconds. Now let go. Do you see a little dent, a little pit where your thumb was? If you do, that's a warning sign. That's edema. That's fluid, toxins, waste that is backing up in your body, and it's happening because you are not paying attention to position number 4. And no, it's not your knees, it's not your ankles, it's the hidden soft spot behind your knees. We call it the popliteal fossa, but you can just call it your knee pit. You see, when this spot gets clogged, toxins build up. When toxins build up, your legs swell, your knees ache, and you lose strength. The sad truth is 8 out of 10 Americans over 60 are severely clogged in this very spot, and you might be too. Let me explain. Think of the back of your knee as the main drain pipe for your entire lower body. It's not just a bend in your leg, it's home to one of the largest, most important clusters of lymph nodes in your body. And what do lymph nodes do? They are your body's garbage disposal. They filter out all the metabolic waste, the toxins, the excess fluid, and send it on its way to be removed. So what happens when the drain in your kitchen sink gets clogged with grease and gunk? The dirty water backs up, doesn't it? It fills the sink, and it stinks. This is exactly what is happening in your legs. As we get older, 2 things happen. Our lymph system naturally gets a little sluggish. And, let's be honest, we sit more. Gravity becomes our enemy. All that waste fluid, that gunk, it just sits there. It doesn't get pumped out. It pools in your ankles, making them swell. It presses on your joints, making your knees ache. It gives you that heavy, lead-like feeling in your legs. You think it's just old age. You think it's arthritis. Folks, so often it's just plumbing. It's a backup. The science on this is incredible. A German research team found that just 1 minute of stimulating the spot can make your lymph system flow twice as fast. It's like pouring drain cleaner down a clogged pipe. A Harvard study showed that people with a clogged popliteal fossa are 6 times more likely to suffer from leg swelling. And my favorite, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, noted that patients who took care of this spot reduced their rates of knee arthritis by half. Think about that. Half the people suffering from grinding knee pain might just have a plumbing problem. I will never ever forget a patient of mine named Michael Johnson from Newark, 68 years old. He came in. "Doc," he said, "my legs are just swollen. I guess it's just my age." I told him to keep an eye on it. He came back 2 weeks later, and my heart just sank into my stomach. He was using a walker. 2 weeks. He was a proud man, a carpenter his whole life, and he looked at me with pure terror in his eyes. "Doctor," he said, "I can't trust my legs. The strength is just gone." I had him sit down. I checked the back of his knees. Folks, they were hard as cement. They were completely blocked. I told him, "Michael, this is the problem. It's all backed up. We need to clear the drain." Here is the simple 1-minute solution I gave him. First, in the shower, Take your shower head and aim that warm, pulsing water directly at the back of your knee. Let it pound on that soft spot for 30 seconds. You are using the heat and the pressure to break up that clog. Second, turn off the water and take your forefingers, put them into that soft spot, and just gently rub in a circle clockwise, slow and easy, for 30 seconds. Now hear me gently. This is not a deep tissue massage. You are just nudging the pump. That's it. 30 seconds of water, 30 seconds of rubbing, 1 minute. 3 weeks later, Michael Johnson walked into my office. No walker. He said, "Doc, my legs feel light. I walked up the stairs. I feel safe again." I had another patient, Margaret Hayes from Miami, 71 years old. She'd had achy, swollen legs for 10 years. She told me her sock marks would last for over an hour. Doctors just patted her on the hand and said, "It's your age, dear." 2 weeks after I gave her this simple instruction, she called me crying. "Doctor," she said, "the marks are gone. The marks are gone. My legs don't ache. It's real." Just by clearing the drain, you can make your legs feel 20 years younger. This brings us to position number 3. Now, having light legs is wonderful, but what good is it if you're still waking up with that nagging low back ache? What good is it if you're constantly mapping out the bathrooms every single time you leave the house? Are you tired, so tired of waking up at 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. to go to the bathroom? Position number 3 is the key to solving this, and it also just takes about a minute. Last year, a 73-year-old gentleman from Atlanta, James Peterson, came to see me. He looked like a ghost. He was exhausted. He sat down and said, "Doctor, I'm at my wit's end. I get up 5 times a night. 5. I haven't slept for more than 90 minutes at a time in years. I'm just so tired." I listened to his story, and I taught him about position number 3. 1 month later, he came back. He looked like a new man. He grabbed my hand and said, "Doctor, I sleep until 6 a.m. I get up once. Sometimes not at all. You gave me my sleep back." This is a problem for men and for women that always gets worse as we age. But 9 out of 10 seniors never even think to address it. I'm going to tell you right now. Position number 3 is your groin. Yes, your groin. The crease where your leg meets your body. I know you might be surprised. It might feel a little strange or a little awkward, but I need you to listen to me. This is not strange. This is medical, and it is critically important. Here's why. Medically speaking, if this area gets clogged, your entire lower body begins to die. And if your lower body dies, you can't walk. And if you can't walk, you know exactly where you end up. Remember James Peterson, the man who got up 5 times a night? When he came to my office, I asked his permission, and I examined that area. And just as I suspected, his groin was cold. Cold to the touch. Stone cold. I told him, "James, here's your problem. This whole area is a frozen dam. The circulation is blocked." I gave him a simple 90-second routine. A month later, he came back and said, "Doctor, not only am I sleeping, but my feet are warm. My feet haven't been warm in 20 years. So, what is the secret? Your groin is the grand central station of your body. It's a superhighway where 2 critical systems meet. System 1, blood. The massive femoral artery, the main pipeline for blood, runs right through here to feed your entire leg. System 2, lymph. The largest, most powerful cluster of lymph nodes in your body is right here. These nodes are responsible for 70% of your entire lower body immune system. As we age, and as we sit more, this grand central station gets a massive traffic jam. The blood flow down gets restricted, which is why your feet are cold. The lymph flow up gets blocked, which puts pressure on all your internal organs, including your bladder, which is what gives you that constant nagging urge to go. The science is settled. Johns Hopkins published research showing that when these groin lymph nodes are healthy and flowing, your overall immunity skyrockets. A British study found that people with poor groin circulation are 9 times more likely to suffer from cold legs. Another study found that people who actively stimulate this area can walk, on average, 8 years longer. Imagine walking strong at 83 instead of 75. So what do? It's simple. First, in the shower, take that warm water and let it run right along that crease, that panty line or brief line for 30 seconds. You're just warming up the highway. Second, take the fingertips of both hands and gently press into that crease. Hold for 5 seconds and release. Do this 5 times. Again, gently. You're just nudging the pump. Third, take your flat hands and swipe from your lower belly down toward the crease 10 times. You are clearing the road. That's it. 30 seconds of water, 30 seconds of pressing, 30 seconds of swiping, 90 seconds. This is what helped Mrs. Linda Smith from Phoenix, 69 years old. She told me she had to wear thermal underwear in the middle of the Arizona summer because her legs were so cold. Doctors just shrugged. 3 weeks after I taught her this, she called me laughing. "Doctor," she said, "I turned off my electric blanket. My husband thinks it's a miracle. Just by clearing this one spot, you can reignite the fire in your entire lower body. And by the way, if your feet are cold right now as you're listening to this, just do me a favor and type the number 2 in the comments below. You are not alone." Now we move to position number 2. And folks, this one is about your mind. Because you can have warm feet and light legs, but if your mind isn't clear, what good is it? Tell me, does this sound familiar? You walk into the kitchen with a purpose and you stop. You're just standing there. You have absolutely no idea why you walked in. Or you're talking to a friend. You're trying to remember the name of an actor you've loved for 40 years, and the name is, it's just gone. Or you find your car keys in the refrigerator. You laugh it off. You say, "Oh, I'm just having a senior moment." Folks, let me be very clear. As your doctor, I am telling you there is no such thing as a senior moment. It is not a normal part of aging. It is a warning sign. It's a warning sign that position number 2 is blocked. This spot is responsible for the single most important job in your body, getting blood to your brain. If it gets blocked, the blood doesn't get there. And if the blood doesn't get to your brain, you get brain fog. You get dizzy. You get memory lapses. And eventually, if it's not fixed, you get the one thing we all fear: dementia. Position number 2 is the back of your neck. Right now, just reach back and feel it. That area from the top of your shoulders to the base of your skull. How does it feel? Is it soft? Or does it feel hard? Does it feel tight, like a bundle of steel cables? If it's hard, then I am telling you right now, your brain is not getting the blood that it needs. I'll never forget a patient of mine, Patricia Williams from Austin, 70 years old. She came to my office, not because she was in pain, but because she was scared. She sat across from me and she whispered, "Doctor, I forgot my granddaughter's name. She was standing right in front of me talking to me, and I couldn't find her name. I had to pretend." I examined her and her neck. It wasn't muscle anymore. It was like rock. Decades of stress, of looking down, of worrying had turned it solid. I told her, "Patricia, this is not your mind failing. This is your neck failing. Your neck is choking the blood flow to your brain. Your brain is starving. Think of it this way. Your brain lives on blood, but it only has one highway to get it, and that highway goes right up the back of your neck. But as we age, those muscles get tighter and tighter, and they squeeze that highway. They are literally pinching the hose. The research on this will stop you in your tracks. Stanford University found that people with a stiff, hard neck have on average 37% less blood flow to their brain, and their risk of dementia is 4 times higher. 4 times. The American Journal of Medicine published that people who simply keep their neck warm and relaxed cut their risk of a stroke in half. And a Japanese study found that just 1 minute of simple neck massage increased blood flow to the brain by 43%. When they investigated dementia patients, they found that 8 out of 10 had that same rock-hard steel cable neck. This is a direct physical link. So how do we fix it? This is a life-saving 2-minute-a-day habit. First, in the shower, I want you to turn that water on as hot as you can comfortably stand it. And I want you to let that water blast the back of your neck from your shoulders to your skull for 1 full minute. You are using heat to melt those frozen muscles. Second, after your shower, when you're dry, I want you to take the fingers of both hands and massage that area. Knead it like you're kneading bread, from your shoulders up to the base of your skull. 1 more minute. Be kind to yourself, but be firm. You are breaking up those knots. That's it. 1 minute of water, 1 minute of massage. I taught this to Patricia. A month later, she called me. She said, "Doctor, I'm playing cards again with my friends. I'm remembering my grocery list. I feel like me again. Just by unpinching the hose. Just by letting the blood get back to your brain." And now we are at position number 1, the most important spot of all. Because folks, you can have light legs, you can have a warm body, you can have a clear mind, but if your spirit is anxious, if your heart is heavy, if your soul is tired, none of it matters. Tell me the truth. Do you sleep at night, or do you lie there staring at the ceiling, your mind just racing? Do you jolt awake at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning with a feeling of dread, a tightness in your chest? Do you just live with a constant, low-level anxiety? That feeling, that is position number 1. It is the boiler room, the furnace of your entire body. If this spot is cold, your whole body is cold. If this spot is hard, your mind cannot be at peace. You can't sleep. You're irritable. You're worried. And 44 out of 100 Americans have a hard, painful knot right here, but they never ever think to touch it. Position number 1 is your solar plexus. Right now, find that spot. It's that soft, fleshy area right in the center of your chest, right where your ribs part. Gently press your fingers into it. Does it hurt even a little? Does it feel tight, tender, hard? If it does, that is your body screaming at you.